another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I am your hostess, Marla Martenson, and I have a special guest with me today all the way from Australia, and her name is Kelly Roland. And let me just tell you a little bit about her. She holds an activated space to ignite one's soul essence at Blueprint Codes by Maya Dreamspell, Tarot, Astrology, Archetypes, and intuitive energy readings. So this is going to be good, you guys. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for being with us. So, you know what? I met Kelly because I was taking her tarot course on Udemy, and I'm learning tarot slowly. And I have two courses, one with another gal and one with Kelly, and they're both great. But you know what, Kelly? When I saw you and the way you're so passionate about it, and you're talking about what it does for you, and I was just like, wow, this gal is infectious. I have to meet her. Tell everybody a little bit about what is so juicy and fabulous about tarot and why they might want to learn it.
Thank you, Marla. Yeah, tarot is, I find it extremely magical, but also extremely revealing of oneself. And as a person who my whole life I have been so fascinated and intrigued by learning the deeper layers of who I am. And tarot has given me the vehicle to do that. So what I love about tarot cards is I actually see them. Like each card is an archetype. It's a personality within me. Because you can probably relate. You know, I'm not just Kelly Roland in my one facade. Like we have many facades, many aspects of us. So what I find with tarot is these cards hold such a subtle vibration. And when I tune into them, ask a question, they show me that aspect of me that's showing itself to the world, and it helps me understand myself better than like, why am I doing this, and why am I drawn to that person, or to this art, or to this activity. They really reveal to me like what's going on behind the scenes, and I see them as just like potent little pocket guides. So they really can activate and reveal so much that's happening that sometimes I don't have the words to put into. Mm-hmm. And for people I do readings with, it's just really amazing. I'm always so surprised and just cracked open by how accurate they are with bringing to the surface what someone's hiding or suppressing. So that to me, they're just an amazing vehicle for diving deeper into oneself.
Now, how long have you been doing it, and how did you get interested in it?
I've actually been doing tarot for about 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, growing up in Salem.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Because we talked about that. You guys, one of my dreams is to go to Salem, Massachusetts in October, because you know that I love the witchy stuff. So Kelly's I don't think I've ever really met someone from Salem. So, yeah, growing up in Salem, tell us about that and the tarot cards.
Well, it felt like such a kinship, and I can remember even from the youngest age of probably like 5 or 6, I was drawing my own cards and pulling them for my friends. I was so fascinated by making game out of like what's inside you and what's your future. Mm-hmm. And then I remember I was about 8 years old, and I begged my aunt to take me to a tarot reading in Salem. And she was like, oh, maybe you're a little too young for this, but I think she knew I was ready, and I went, and I had the most amazing experience, and I was just so inspired. And I think it's just through osmosis, being in the streets of Salem and seeing all the shops and the witchcraft shops and the herbs and the spells. Yeah. I just took to it like a fish to water.
Oh my gosh. I know, it sounds so amazing, and it's probably packed with tourists a lot, right? I mean, especially October, I hear that you have to have like, a year in advance, get your hotel, because it's so packed. So, and then you do some ritual magic too, right? Is that inspired from being in Salem?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a bit of a whisper that's been following my whole life, and I've been doing it my own ways, but in the past 4 years in particular, I've dived more into ritual arts, using dance, using elements of nature, using the ocean. Ritual is pretty much just manifesting what you want into your world through a powerful declaration. Right. And learning how to, kind of contort the elements to align to bring your desire through. So a way I love to do this is through dance and through nature. Mm-hmm. And I'm exploring more and more. I just keep learning how to call in more. I've been working with spells a bit, so using spoken word and using certain placement of words to create a bit of a ritual, to create a enchantment.
So, yeah. So you do love readings, love tarot, right? So tell us about that.
So relationships and love is something, and I'm really, it's amazing to talk with you as a matchmaker with having such a spiritual and also like holistic background, because it brings a lot of wholesomeness to it, I find. And that's what's needed in relationship. And I'm super inspired and driven and drawn to supporting people in relationship. And I do this with tarot, and I also do this with my astrology and the Mayan. But with the tarot in particular, I do certain readings, and there's a bit of a ritual in the beginning. Okay. So there's a ritual with me and the person receiving the reading, where we create this space of divine love together. Maybe it's through a bit of movement, softening into our feminine energy, calling in only what we want, like you said, Marla, using the words that you desire, and then bringing all of that into a reading. And there's a certain spread for love.
Okay. And is the spread for love a spread that you created, or did you, is it one that you learned somewhere?
So I have a tendency to take a bit of what I learn and add my own intuitive touch.
Okay. So for people who, it's interesting because, when people want readings, I mean, like I have a lot of psychic friends, and then I do angel readings, and of course it's that question, or when I have my podcast and I'll have an intuitive on there and we'll be given readings, and the women will call in and they say, when do you see love for me? Do you see somebody coming in? When? And they want to know that date. They want to know when. For me, I kind of think, well, it'll be when you're ready, when your frequency's right, when you've cleared out what you need to clear out is going to be when. But some people really want that kind of date. Do you find that too? And how do you deal with that? Do you give them kind of coaching with it, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I definitely get that quite a lot. And it's balanced because, there is the wisdom of knowing you can't rush love in some ways.
Right.
But you can rush. There is something you can rush, and that's your own self-love.
Yes.
You can extremely prioritize, and this is what I really try to share with my clients, is if you're really wanting love in your life, prioritize, make it your day job to love, drench yourself in love, and fill your tank. And then you're going to be this magnet that is going to draw a similar vibration of a man or a woman to you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I try to tell them. When your frequency's right, that's what you're going to bring in. But people, humans, we just want it now. We get everything, so they're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to know when. When's he coming? Or when's she coming? So what's this Mayan calendar stuff? This is very interesting. My husband's from Mexico originally, so I've spent a lot of time down there, and also down in that area, the Yucatan and Cancun and Cozumel, and with the Mayans, so it's beautiful. So how did you get into that, and what does that entail?
Yeah, the Mayan Dreamspell is fascinating, and I actually, from young childhood, I always had these dreams of living in a Mayan civilization. And from about the age of, ever since I could watch TV and I saw Jurassic Park or something, I wanted to be an archaeologist up until I was 19. I wanted to dive into ancient realms and dig up the past. And then when I left America to New Zealand, I met this woman, Vasumi, and she was a bit of a pioneer, and she had been teaching Mayan Dreamspell for about 20 years by then. And it was an instant resonance. I was like, I need to know, learn, and teach this system. Yeah. So that was 5 years ago now. And what it is it's based off of the Mayan calendar. So the Mayans had a very different calendar than we do. We have the Gregorian calendar, which was, designed by the Pope for debts and taxes. But the Mayan calendar is more based on the rhythm of the sun and the moon, which is how time actually moves. So it's a way of tapping back into real time rather than rushing and chasing this persona that the world has conditioned in you. The Mayan Dreamspell, it evokes your core, your spirit energy based on the day you were born and the way the planets were actually aligned. So it's a very deep form of astrology because there are actually 260 signs. Yeah.
You got to learn all those. Huh? Well, was it the Mayan calendar that said 2012, or was it 2012 that the world would end or something? Yeah, but it was just that calendar ended or something. It wasn't like the world was ending, right? It was this big thing like the Mayan calendar. Yeah.
Well, actually, Marla, something really interesting I learned a few years back is that this prophecy of 2012, this was actually when the Mayans predicted that the world would remember there was a Mayan calendar.
Okay. Oh.
So this is like the change of paradigm. Like, hey, there's another way. 2012, everyone thought the world was ending. It's actually like, no, one world is ending, which is the old paradigm.
Right.
Now people start waking up. There's another way of living. There's another way of doing things.
There are so many people waking up. It's unreal. I mean, I've never seen so many, psychics and intuitives and healers and this and that. And then even young people are like old souls. Like, you're so young and you're like already, all this, you're just such an old soul. You have all this knowledge and wisdom and carry yourself so well. And I see so many younger people that way now too. Like, they're coming in with this wisdom and stuff. So it's really amazing. So
people like you help us feel safe to do that, I feel. So thank you.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and it's nice we can talk about this woo-woo stuff, this, now on the internet and everything, so it's been pretty good. So, all right, so let's just get back to the tarot for a minute. So somebody who wants to learn now, for instance, I wanted to learn for a long time, but when I had a deck and I thought, there's 78 cards here, this is too daunting, I can never learn all the meanings, and then there's this, upside down and this way and that way, and the meaning and the colors and the astrology to it and the numerology to it and just the meanings, and I just even learning the basic meanings was daunting to me. So I said, I put it off. And then when I started getting some courses on Udemy, I thought, you know what, I can just lay in bed, I go to bed, whatever, 8 or 9, usually with a book or whatever. I could have my iPhone and play it for 15 minutes a night and watch Kelly show what the card meanings are, and it's starting to stick. So, yeah, what would you tell people the best way to learn tarot, or if they're overwhelmed, or what's the minimum that they need to know to really get going?
Yeah, because it's such a valid thing, and the way most of us have been conditioned to learn is by being able to have a rote learning of memorizing and getting it right. So it can be hard to break out of that pattern. And the first tip I would say is just keep, whenever you feel overwhelmed, just keep reconnecting to your why. Why do you want to be learning tarot? Right. Like, tune into the desire and the passion whenever you're getting overwhelmed, and maybe even have a laugh at yourself, like, wow, I'm getting so stressed out over something I want to learn for fun.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I'd say is just develop a relationship with your cards. Like, what I do when I'm feeling disconnected is I'll actually just hug my cards to my heart. I'll look at each picture and just not think too much about them. Just let my subconscious mind process it.
Right. That's great. That's in your Udemy course. You say what you should do with your cards because you want to have your energy in them. Because when you say that they have a vibration and that they really speak to you, they're not really going to do it when you just buy them and pull them out of the box. You've got to cleanse them, and talk a little bit about what does somebody do when they first buy a deck. What should they do with it?
So when you first buy a deck, even though it may be tempting, you want to do a reading, what I really recommend is you take all of your cards out of the deck, hold them in your hands, and one by one, some might find this silly, I actually like to give my card like a little kiss on the back. So
nice.
Just kiss the card, put it face down, go through each one, and just let the card feel my hand. And I'll probably look at them if it's my first time opening a deck.
Yeah.
So I'll look at each one, touch them with my hand, and then I will hold them to my heart and just ask the cards. And this, because we have to remember, it's such a subtle thing, tarot cards, and they really pick up our energy. And I'd actually close my eyes and hold the cards to my heart and say, cards, thank you for coming into my reality. I would love to request that you deliver me accurate, precise, insightful readings. I promise to care for you and cleanse your energy, and please bring me accuracy and desire and fulfillment, and let this be a flourishing relationship, just setting your intention, whatever it may be.
And then I started doing this from your video. I put my cards on my altar with crystals on them.
Yes,
yeah.
Great. I've got one here that was charging them. So you find a crystal that resonates. A really great one is amethyst because it works just, you probably know, right?
Yeah.
Spiritual energy, activating, and just resting it on top of your deck.
Right.
And they will love this. And it's like the more you take care of your cards, the better readings they're going to give you. It's just such a win-win relationship. They want to be cared for because when I see it, these are all aspects within me.
Right.
So if I'm leaving them in the corner, disheveled on the floor, I wouldn't be so happy if someone did that to me. So why would I want to give an accurate reading? It's
and they're like these characters on there. They're like people, you know. They so you kind of can get to know them. So do you always use the Rider-Waite, or do you have different decks? How many decks do you have, or do you use?
So because I'm a bit of a nomad, a lot of my decks are in America right now, where my main home base was, and I probably got about 8 decks.
Okay.
However, this deck was the first deck that I got, and it was actually given to me as a gift, which feels very symbolic.
Right.
And it's my go-to deck. They have just been so charged up with my energy.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty cool decks on the market right now, so I'm looking to maybe buy another. And in the future, I think I'll probably produce my own.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, with maybe some Mayan
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be great? So now here's a question. I don't know what I'm going to do when I start giving readings. Should other people be allowed to touch your deck? Because some people will shuffle it themselves and do the reading, or others will hand it over to the client, and say, you shuffle it and cut the cards. So do you let people touch yours? Because I kind of don't want just like my crystals. It's like, don't touch my crystals. They're my crystals. I don't know if I want them touching my witchy magical deck, you know?
Well, I think that's purely a matter of like what you individually want. When I do readings for clients, I actually enjoy letting them touch the cards because I feel they're putting their energy into it.
Right.
But sometimes I'll have a client and they really, really get into shuffling the cards, and some of them are backwards, upside down.
Oh yeah.
And after those readings, I just give my cards a cleanse. I go through one by one. I put them upright again. I put them on my altar, and I say a little blessing.
Okay.
And for me, that clears the energy. But I would also listen to your intuition. Maybe you're doing a reading with someone, and for some reason you're like, I actually don't want to use my deck. I'm going to use my backup deck or my other deck.
Oh, right. Yeah, a deck that you let people touch that you've also had. Yeah.
But if you're a bit of like in Cancer, in astrology, it's very can be quite protective of your things. Maybe it's good to have a backup deck for readings.
Yeah, it's funny. Like somebody comes in and you don't quite love their energy. You're like, hang on a minute. Let me go get another deck. And what about oracle cards? Do you ever use oracle cards?
I love oracle cards.
Which what are some of your favorites?
I've really loved the Goddess Oracle, Doreen Virtue. It's a yellow box. Those ones have been powerful. And I also had a deck. It was more of a masculine energy. It was called the Titans. And this was from Stacy something, I forget. But it was these very powerful masculine cards. And I found those really activating for me because my feminine can be quite strong and fluid. Right. So to have this masculine deck of these warriors really ignites something for me as well.
I have friends who have like 20 decks, 25 decks. They're just, because they are fun. They're beautiful, the artwork, and it's just amazing. Yeah, the angel deck, I've got the angel tarot, I've got the witch tarot, I've got the regular tarot, so...
And the tarot itself is an oracle. Often I'll just pull one card and it'll give so much more actually than an oracle deck could.
Yes.
Because I find tarot is slightly more related to what's going on in your life right now and what obstacles are there, whereas oracle is more like a message of support.
Right.
Tarot is I find a bit more, brings more clarity, it brings a bit more direction.
Yeah, like I have the Ascended Masters by Doreen Virtue. And sometimes I'll pick what I'll do is I'll lay them all out, and then I'll take my pendulum and I'll put it over each one, and it'll just spin on one, and I'll pick it up. And I remember when my mom was here, and I did it for her, and hers said, I forgot which master it was, but the message was drink more water. And she never drinks water. She hates water. And I said, you see, even the cards are telling you to drink water. So I said, let's go get you a glass of water. So that was
cool. It's just... I have to share with you, hearing you speak is just evoking so much gratitude in me, and I'm just feeling like electricity moving my body because it's been deemed as woo-woo and it's been deemed as unrealistic. But actually, I feel like all of this stuff, pendulums and cards and Reiki and energy work, when we have that resistance to it of this isn't real, it's actually just us denying our own expansive spiritual nature, which we've been taught through the media and conditioning. You're just a human. Don't get too big on yourself. But actually, there's so much available to us. And I've been coming to more of this age of letting it happen through you, rather than, because there can be a lot of chasing with spirituality as well. I'm going to reach enlightenment. I've got to run my way to being in samadhi or these deep states of presence. It's like, slow your roll a little bit and just, be a bit more present with what's happening. And
all right, so Kelly, thank you so much for stopping by all the way from Australia. And you guys, her links are below. Her Udemy link, if you want to get her tarot course, which is fantastic, is below, and the link to her website. And let me know, you guys, are you learning tarot? Do you do tarot? What kind of occult stuff do you do? What kind of spiritual stuff do you do? So I want to hear from you in the comments, all right? Much love, everybody. Bye.